Good afternoon and welcome to this special interview. Today, our guest is Ruchin Kumar. He is the Vice President of South Asia at Futurex. Ruchin is working with BFSI, government, and enterprises sectors. He deals with critical data in areas where security and compliance is a concern. He is responsible for developing partner and channel networks, developing customer relationships for driving business growth in South Asia region. So now I'll come with the questions. So, what is your view of cryptography and tokenization solutions that are being used to encrypt data in India's financial sectors?
Yeah, thanks, Anoop. So let me just for 2 minutes, let me tell you what exactly we do over here in terms of tokenization, data security.
Okay.
The company where I am coming from, Futurex, is a 43-plus-year-old company in the field of data security. It is headquartered in Texas, US, and have offices globally. Now, since your question is based on data tokenization and data security, this is a very interesting topic basically. And nowadays, a lot of regulators have come up with requirements for tokenization of important data. Now, it is basically, if I talk a little technically, then tokenization is a generalized concept of a cryptographic hash. So, and if in a layman language, just like we get a token at a restaurant for the food, we pay it at the cash counter and then we get a token for the food. So
Yes.
it means it is representing something by a symbol or by a very different object rather than the real entity or the real data. So
Okay.
as we see that the very largely tokenization has been implemented by UIDI ecosystem, and if you see all they have segmented multiple entities like global AUAs, then AUAs, sub AUAs, and they allow only the global AUAs to keep the Aadhaar numbers, ask them to do tokenization, and these tokens basically symbolize a citizen or a bank account number and represent user's bank account or his you can say Aadhaar entity in the case of UIDI ecosystem. So data security and tokenization go hand in hand when it comes to implementing these technologies for safeguarding the data, preventing its misuse and the unauthorized access. They are a little, you can say, different from each other. When I talk about data security, it is a very wider term which includes many other technologies like encryption, masking, many other, you can say, aspects of data security. However, tokenization is a specific process in which we are generating the tokens in lieu of the real data so that the real data is safe and only tokens are used for even by the applications which are processing that data. So it brings a great amount of security in the entire system.
Okay. So I think RBI has also come up with the policy where all the customers who are buying things from the e-commerce sites, they have to
Right,
enter their credit card numbers get tokenized. Like
right, right.
Amazon, I got a message from Amazon that according to RBI data, it is being RBI laws, it is being tokenized, your credit cards.
That's very correct. That's very correct, Anoop. You have nailed it very right. RBI was concerned that the general payment aggregators were
Making a very big business. I mean,
yes,
tokenization.
yes. So
If
it has
all the credit
become
cards have to be tokenized.
yes, because of the RBI mandate,
Hmm.
which was for payment aggregators. So earlier they were storing the card details, and for a better user experience, they were always showing whether you want to use the same card whenever you are visiting it the very next time. So RBI was concerned that any breach can happen in that case, and then they came out with a regulation which asked for tokenizing the card details if at all they want to safeguard the or if they want to save the card information. So now only those payment aggregators who have this tokenization feature available in their application can do can save can save the card for a better user experience. Otherwise, they are not allowed to save it. So major payment aggregators in the country, they already have this tokenization in place. It became a very you can say a prominent business even for the security companies to provide that tokenization application or a tokenization feature by doing the enhancement in the existing applications. And now most of the payment aggregators are using tokenization.
Okay. And there has been a very big rise in this digital payments industry. Much of the payments now are being made through UPI or credit cards online. So this has also led to rising cybercrime cases. So what technologies do you think that should be used by the BFSI, e-governance, retail, telecom sectors for securing high-value transactions?
So, Anoop, as we are moving towards digital economy, and most of these transactions are happening over digital applications or over the internet or over the digital medium, more and more challenges are coming, which presently industry is facing. And RBI luckily has been quite active in setting the standards right, in setting some regulations, coming out with the security framework for the financial transactions happening across the industry. Encryption has been a leading technology where uh, encryption is not only providing data confidentiality, but also encryption is providing granular access to the users. So information is provided on need to know basis. It is basically targeting the right authorized users and is preventing the unauthorized people to you can say to come in to act maliciously and misuse that financial information or try to alter any kind of transaction. Apart from encryption, there are technologies like we just talked about tokenization. For financial transactions, we are also using masking, and the most dominant technology which has provided data integrity and data confidentiality is PKI, public key infrastructure. So RBI has mandated for most of their financial applications, which are used by the commercial banks, the financial institutions, the industry wide, as you named, automobile and other industry, retail industries, they are also using this PKI in order to ensure data integrity so that nobody can change the information in between. And for this, they are digitally signing all these transactions. So while any transaction is traveling from payment aggregators to the clearing houses, or even in the case of RTGS, it is flowing still to the RBI. All these transactions are digitally signed, properly encrypted, so that only the right source can decrypt the information and verify the signatures that it is coming from the right sender or not.
Okay. The Parliament has recently passed this Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. So, what kind of impact is this act going to have on the cybersecurity sector in the country?
Right,
Do you
right.
think, I mean, it can fuel growth in the sector?
Of course, yeah, yeah. I'll come to that. Now, the Data Privacy Act basically talks about data privacy at a large, and again, it is a quite a wider terms, which will require technology as well as lot of changes in the user behavior. In India, uh, we are sharing a lot of information while entering into any of the offices. So we are putting our name, our telephone numbers, our address, and many other information quite frequently, which is always available to the wrong people. And unfortunately, we have seen that a lot of personal identifiable information has been sold out in the market, which has been misused. So, in order to prevent that, this Privacy Act is going to change the entire not only you can say the arena of data privacy, but also it is going to change the mindset of people going forward. So yes, this Data Privacy Act is also going to fuel security best practices to be implemented in the organizations, in the large enterprises, as well as in the you can say in day-to-day culture of our operations, citizen operations. So we have identified that personal identifiable information is very crucial for the nation, and that's where uh, once the Data Privacy Act is going to strictly, you can say, is going to get implemented strictly in the entire system, it will also ensure much stricter security norms in the entire ecosystem. So, of course, the technologies like encryption, tokenization, measures, there will be measures for granular access, there will be hierarchical based access to the data, and data will only be, you can say, provided only to the right people with proper authentication and proper authorization schemes. So going forward, whenever the government becomes little stricter with in implementation of Data Privacy Act, lot of security you will see coming into the systems.
Are you doing some work for any specific department in the government?
Yeah, so as a security company, we have been working with most of the financial institutions. We work very closely with RBI, we work very closely with UIDI, and we always try to participate in the discussions where we also flag some of the you can say some of the gaps which can be which can be taken care by these regulators. Apart from that, we provide our consultancy services as well as also products for various fintechs, startups, so that their intellectual property is safe, and they also become compliant to various standards. Like if we are talking about financial industry, PCI compliance is something very essential for all these financial institutions, where we help them by providing the right solutions to become PCI compliant. We also ensures that the user credentials, which are most of the times in the form of PIN, are safe. So we also provide solutions for PIN encryption, PIN translation, PIN matching. So even the people who are working in the data centers at the back end, they can always do the management stuff, but they will not be able to know the real credentials of the users of those applications. So it minimizes the risk of any fraud, and that's where you can say the card schemes like Mastercard, Visa, Rupee in our case, they all have some set of standards which we help to achieve in the case of financial institutions.
A big part of the BFSI sector is being driven by the government.
That's
So,
correct.
are you seeing government as a big growth divider in your company, or is it the private sector in the country that is
So
going to bring growth?
I think both the ways, because of the Digital India, you can say, initiatives from the government side. There are a lot of projects which are coming and demanding for a greater security. PKI has been included in our law, and since our IT Act 2000 was enacted in our amendments 2008, it becomes quite concrete, and most of these projects are coming with the requirement of encryption, digital signing, tokenization. So from the government side, there is a great demand of security technologies. If we talk about the private sector, yes, of course, the most of the demand is coming from the financial sector, but the people like automobiles, by virtue of Internet of Things, IoT, and other you can say technologies getting implemented in their respective sectors, they are also quite active in implementing the digital security, you can say, technologies in their environment. But of course, since you know that all the bad people are behind the life of financial institutions, because from there they can gain the most, and
Yes.
they can do some financial frauds over there. So not only these organizations are adopting the best security practices, so they are ahead of all these malicious efforts, but there are regulators who are working day and night in order to keep any unauthorized access away from the networks, safeguarding the data throughout its life cycle. So as soon as the data information is created, there are measures in the financial institutions which safeguard the data from that very stage. While it is transferred on the wire, it is safeguarded. While it is accessed by the people, there are proper mechanism of authentication, and then there are sufficient reasonable methods of securing that data at the moment. And
Okay.
as you know, security is not going to stop anywhere. It is a continuous
Yes.
thing. So as the new technologies will keep on emerging, we as a security professionals, we will also be coming out with the new technologies, new techniques, new equipments in order to safeguard the data.
Futurex is also providing cloud services.
Yeah,
So, what is the scope of the cloud services that you are providing in India, and
right.
what kind of growth are you seeing in this sector?
So we started our cloud services back in 2014. We found that several organizations were moving faster towards clouds, including the financial institutions. And because of those movements of those important applications on the cloud, they were also looking out the other security environment over the cloud. We also found that because of the great difference between the capex and opex model, between the on-premise and the cloud model, the cost was driving many of these institutions to move to the clouds. As we are the first HSM and key management company who started this, and then we have 15 data centers across the globe, out of which we are the only company having local data centers in India, in Mumbai and Hyderabad, where we are providing encryption as a service, digital signing as a service, PIN translation as a service, hardware security module as a service, key management as a service, and many of the very important financial institutions have already hooked their applications on our cloud solutions. So uh, uh, at the moment, 20 to 25% of our business is coming out from the services model over the cloud, and 75 to 80% is still with the on-premise installations. So, but we are seeing a rapid growth in the services model, because it is solving larger problems of capex with the institutions. And I have seen that we though have fewer customers in comparison to on-premise customers, but the interest is great. We are having regular calls with the large fintechs and banks who are exploring all these opportunities to move to the cloud.
So, since now 2024 is on us, what kind of trends in tokenization, in cloud, in cybersecurity would you foresee for 2024? Which
So,
trends from 2023 will become stronger in the coming year?
right, right. So I have seen a lot of consolidation is happening in the industry. Earlier, we were having too many solutions which were making our environments very complicated. And that's where I saw a lot of consolidation which has happened in the past. Now, if you see our example, earlier there were different solutions for payments, different solutions for PKI. In the case
Okay.
of Futurex, we have come out with a single platform where we are providing all these feature sets on a single platform. So people can just purchase the license of various security requirements, and they can still utilize the same hardware platform in order to do that kind of cryptography, tokenization, data encryption, strong identity management, key management. So and the good part which has helped us is that since last 43 years we have never been acquired by anyone, nor do no, we have acquired anyone else. So all this growth is organic growth which we have done on the same platform, so it was easier for us. And this is the major trend I have seen, that people want to use their existing setup for the newer technologies like IoT, blockchain, digital signing. We are moving towards quantum proof cryptography. So they just don't want to, they don't want an investment which will be dumped after 2 or 3 years. They want something which can go, which is scalable as per their requirements, and which can go long according to their business plans.
So, in case of emerging technologies like AI, ML, and quantum that you mentioned, so what are the trends that you see? I mean, do you think that there can be some new threats, new kinds of threats that we are facing? Like Rajiv Chandrasekhar said in a recent conclave
Mhm.
that we need some global framework. So, what would be the view from Futurex about that?
Right. So we are very much focused on the newer technologies like AI, ML, as well as blockchain, post-quantum cryptography. So we have come out with specific solutions. Now these solutions use a combined joint cryptographic platform, but we have added features in order to you can say, in order to focus on the on some of the weaker threads in these newer technologies. So while we are talking to many of our customers who are great, like moving in a great size towards artificial intelligence, we are customizing our solutions in a way that their specific requirements, security requirements for AI is taken care of, and it does not disrupt any of their day-to-day normal operations. All of these financial institutions are very active in implementing AI on their systems. You can see adaptive authentication coming into picture, which is adapting itself with the user behavior. And say if you are traveling to China and your wife is using your credit card in India, uh, it will throw three different questions to her before the card is used successfully. So because the AI systems knows that you are traveling to China at that point of time. So yeah, while the industry is trying to make digital transactions easier for genuine users, but they also want to implement AI in terms of enhancing and understanding the user behavior.
A big part of the focus of the government is Make in India.
Mhm.
So, are you doing some R&D work here and developing products locally?
Yes, right. So we have already moved a chunk of our engineering, which is working on the encryption technologies in India. We have offices in Noida and in Mumbai. We also have our architect for cloud services based out of India, who is driving the entire global team over which is responsible for our cloud services. Then, apart from that, we have also formed our technical support, pre-sales, sales, and professional services team here in India. Unfortunately, we require many specific government, you can say, approvals in order to bring encryption technologies, our proprietary encryption technologies, which is used to manufacture the cryptographic hardware. So, of course, the hardware, you can say, manufacturing is still based out of US, but most of the engineering jobs over these hardwares are done in India now.
Now, one final question. What
Mhm.
kind of growth are you seeing in India for your business? By 2030, where do you see your operations in this country?
So we have seen continuous growth of almost 20 to 25% in last many years. Now, with certain government initiatives, regulations from regulatory bodies like RBI, SEBI, also growing UIDI ecosystem, I see this opportunity to of growth to even go beyond 25%, and probably in these couple of years, 24 and 25, I am seeing a 30% growth of exactly what we are doing in what we have just completed in 2023. So this is a great, you can say, area at the moment, and there is a lot of focus from the government and industry, because the you know that India is becoming the is the target of all these hackers across the globe. They are trying to harm the economy. They are trying to do frauds on the financial institutions. They are trying to disrupt our manufacturing, our automobile sector, and hence the key stakeholders are becoming quite active in terms of putting all the safeguarding measures.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
It was
thanks,
nice
thanks
talking
for
to
your
you.
time, Anoop. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.